Hello again everybody and welcome along to another RR Leagues presentation. Today it's early evening here in the Netherlands and we're here for round 3 of the Porsche Cup from Circuit Zandvoort. Of course, if you're with us a fortnight ago, you'd have seen Armando de Kaiser putting a sterling performance in Barcelona, and prior to that, of course, the first round at Zolder, Xavi Pinsac and Raffaella there having great races and sharing the spoils. But we'll get into the championship in a bit more detail in a minute or so. Just before we do that, a little bit of admin coming up on RR League's channel over the next couple of weeks. On Sunday, goes without saying, we have the Crew Chief Championship, the BMW versus Mercedes 1992 DTM cars. I was going to say it needs no introduction, but I've just introduced it. 8 o'clock next Sunday. It's a fantastic series to watch. If you haven't seen any of the previous series, hop on over to our YouTube channel, previous videos, and watch the previous races. I'm not going to spoil them for you other than to say they're absolutely epic. And then a week on Sunday we have the FRX 90, those 1990 Star Formula 1 cars. They'll be coming from the Red Bull Ring. A real struggle for a lot of the guys last time round at Silverstone. The curbs there just destroying suspension and making life very hard for them. So they'll be looking forward to Red Bull Ring where there's even more of those curbs to contend with. But that's a challenge in himself, and fair play to the likes of Pavlicek, Jim Britton and Max Haas, who are making the most in that series. And then a fortnight today, we're back again in the 911 GT3 Porsches for round 4 from Silverstone. Again, 8 o'clock here on RR Leagues. Midpoint in the season tonight, so once this race is over we'll be halfway through, and then over to Silverstone for round 4 as we start to draw the series to a close. In between that, our RR League aboard the KTM around Bilsterberg will draw to a close, so anyone wants to get your final laps in for that, get it done soon. Good to see plenty of crowd there on the dunes watching the racing. Not very diverse though, Kunos, come on, the race is won, guys. Anyway, where are we? Drivers' Championship, let's have a quick look at that so far. So 4 races in, 2 meetings, remember 2 races each round. As we said, Armando de Kaiser won the last 2 races there at Barcelona. Prior to that, Zolder, Arella and Xavi Pinsac taking a couple of races each there. Good performances from Camaletto, see him in 3rd place in the championship, along with David Dorr, who's consistently finished around 6th or 7th, but racking up a nice haul of points, as is pair Tutusor back there in 6th place in the championship. Over to the team championship, paradigm shift there, leading the way, Jack Camaletto and Radek Pavlicek up there on 557 points. Nice haul of points for those guys. Virtual Racing Girona, Xavi Pinsac and Bernat Sive on 479. And the sister Virtual Racing Girona team, Tutusor and Oliveira there in 3rd on 425. Ralph Arella and Simon Finnegan coming 4th there in Team 77, they're on 417. Intense Racing, that's David Dorr and Petter Peck, 329. And then we've got Pit Stop UK, Aaron Cleaver and Ryan Leach. Those boys, especially at Barcelona, must feel like they're racing in pinball machine, because they must have got hit by everything and anything, especially the race at Barcelona, but I think also at Zolder. So hopefully a bit better luck for those guys so they can push out the championship. Anyway, enough of all that, enough of everything. Let's go on and watch the qualifying for the first race. So they're just about to get started. 10 minutes of qualifying is underway. Remember, 2 races tonight, 30-minute races with 2 quick 10-minute. Let's start that again. 2 quick fire qualifying sessions, both of 10 minutes prior to, well, 1 each before each race. Honestly, I know what I'm doing. Qualify race. 10 minute, 30 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute. There we go. That was easy, wasn't it? So, in practice, wow, 5 drivers within a tenth of each other. Those drivers being Camaletto, David Dorr, who else was there? David Dorr, Camaletto, Armando de Kaiser, Ralph Arella and Radek Pavlicek, of course. Yeah, those 5 just come up by a tenth, and all of them during qualifying really pushing the limits, finding where the edges of the track were and the edges of the barrier as well, as they just tried to find the grip limit. As looks like that's Rick Binnersley in the background exploring the limits of the sand go up there. But yeah, all 5 of those I noticed really knowing they're in a fight today. We are looking at David Dorr in that lovely livery car, a nice Belgian flag on the roof, part of Team 77, along with oh no, he's not type. Apologies, that's completely wrong. Petter Peck, of course. Oh, sorry, David. There you go. Let's now we've seen him smash that up. Let's go and have a look at second quickest in practice, and virtually their practice all the way through, just until Arella got ahead of him. Jack Camaletto, right up there in the championship. One of the big hunters, along with Pavlicek, De Kaiser, Arella. I've tried to learn the corner names for tonight, but do you know what? I can't. It's too hard. They're just box and box, so that'll have to do. Hello to everyone in chat. Good to see you all there. So Jack just coming around to start a lap. Let's go on board so you can see what Jack's seeing. During that final couple of turns, so that's the penultimate one. Then a big long right-hander. Try and keep as much pace as you can through there. Difficult in these cars. You go out too wide over there, you've lost it down the straight, and that's all your time gone. Into the hairpin at turn 1. Get tight on that curb. Let it drift out wide. Accelerate up through this kink into difficult turn 3. Get as much of that inside curb as you dare without it chucking out onto the outside. And tight around the banking here. Drift again out wide, and then carry that speed all the way through down the twisty part of the track, uphill and down dale, over the crest, and a difficult right-hander in that you need to know how much speed you can carry through. You can see Jack struggling through there. Through, cut this curb as much as you dare, but not too much, and then hard on the brakes for this difficult right-hander. Slow, but really hard to get it right and get the right speed out, and then nice sweep in left here. Again, all about technical skill of when you can accelerate out of there, and along the straight, just over the crest, and then deep into the chicane, brake just as you come to the curbs. Over the curbs on the right, miss the curbs on the left. See those yellow sausagey things? You want to avoid those. They will throw your car out, and then here we come down again to finish the lap. Run that curb on the inside, and then can you carry the speed around the outside? This won't be one of Jack's best laps. Currently sitting 4, 2/10 down. Current pole time, Ralph Rella, 1:38.3. Jack doesn't improve there, 1:36 or 1:39.3, so you can see how much time he lost there. And he will go again. Current pole sitter, Ralph Rella. He's on a lap, 1:38.3, best time. That was his last lap round. You can see there De Kaiser again within a tenth. Ralph must be getting used to that by now. Pavlicek and Camaletto keeping in close contact. Just waiting for David Dorr to appear on the timing screens. There we go, as if by magic. He's put a lap in, not his best lap by a long shot, but puts him 5th on the grid. But I say in practice, David a lot quicker than that, so expect An improvement to come. 2 minutes of qualifying to go, so these guys will get another couple of laps in. As Ralph comes around to start another lap, one bit of admin I did forget in the intro was the like and subscribe. If you're watching this, please give us a like now before the race starts. I know that's a bit cheeky, but you're going to enjoy it anyway. So there you go. It just goes to show you how much these guys are pushing. Ralph there getting turn 1 a little bit wrong. He's back in the garage. Here's the Kaiser about to come, and you can see there again a bit of a struggle to get the chicane right. So anything can happen in this race. Thrills and spills about to appear, as you can see. These cars are a real handful. Remember, no traction control on these. No ABS. They are the basic bog standard engine and 4 wheels in a rather gorgeously exotic body. That's what we all want, isn't it? 38.2 from De Kaiser. Nice lap. That's enough to put him on provisional pole. A minute to go. Who is still on lap? Sorry, on track rather. Pavlicek. You can see his last lap there was just a warm-up lap, 2:01. So this will be his attempt. There's so many different lines of drivers have got here. You don't tend to know which is the good one or the bad one unless you're actually sat in the car. Oh, Pavlicek just struggling there through the chicane. Not carrying the kind of speed through there that he wanted to, and in fact, yeah, no, he's alright. I just thought he might have caught it a bit wrong there. Just slight blend on the throttle as he comes through the final turn. Keep it on the tarmac. He does, but no improvement at 1:38.997 there for Radek. His best at 1:38.5. So that's Radek done. David Dorr still to finish a lap. Let's see if he can improve up the grid. Nice lap there from Simon Finnegan in 6th. Just 7/10 off that De Kaiser pole time. Ryan Leach in 7 with teammate Aaron Cleaver there for Pit Stop UK. Hopefully high enough up the grid tonight to ensure that they don't get pinballed as they have done all series really. Really not had the rub of the green. So let's hope they're fine up the grid tonight to make it count. Dorr does improve, but unfortunately still a 1/10.5 off Camaletto's time for P4. So that leaves him in P5. So there we go. De Kaiser and Arella will fill out your front row from Pavlicek and Camaletto. Dorr and Finnegan, so basically the top 5 in practice. Just showing that they were not sandbagging. All 5 of those on the top 5 of the grid. I say row 3 with Dorr and Finnegan. Row 7, Sverkov and Binnersley. Good to see the guy back there. He missed round 2. But good to see Sverkov back again. Reach and Cleaver pushed back there to row 5. Deliver and Barraclough, nice driving from Antonio Deliver there on row 6. Bernat Civet, who was actually pretty quick in practice, but down there in 13th with Tutu Saw, who's, as we know, does come good in these races, very consistent. So expect him to climb the field from there. Again, same with Pelicano. Great performance last time out, but again, just running into a few little issues. He's down in 15th with Andre Moll. And then Mark Oliveira and Callum Morgan, who did not put a time in qualifying. He'll start from the back of the grid on row 9. So there we go. Here's your qualifying. And we'll just go to a quick changeover while we swap sessions. So 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go to the start of the race. So the guys just lining up on the grid. Unfortunately, I can't change the sessions over until the client lets me. So we'll sit. In fact, let's put the screen back on so you know you're watching something at least. So there you go, session has ended. We're just waiting for the time to kick down. Time for the guys to go and have a quick drink. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by a few quick laps there. Please give the stream a like. Big thumbs up down below for us, please. Better to do it now than during the race, because you're going to be so engrossed in this, you'll forget. I'm surprised if you haven't subscribed already, but if you haven't, if you can please hit that subscribe button, that would help us out as well as you, because you don't want to miss this sort of stuff. And if you hit that notification bell, that will give you a little alert every time we go live with one of our streams, so you can be on the action from the very beginning. So there we go. Those of you that haven't seen it, we've got a brand new website out over at rrleagues.com, nice and interactive, a bit more media savvy, so go and check that out. Links on there about how to come and join us, both racing and just getting involved in the community. Pop on over to rrleagues.com, nice and simple. Plenty of links there to find where we are and where to go and how to get there. So that's all that done. A minute to go to start of race 1. Remember, that was qualifying for race 1. Race 1 half an hour long, and then I'll go for a second qualifying session. So no reverse grids or anything like that. It's a second qualifying session where you do all this again, qualify for the race, and then a further 30-minute race. There are clouds in the sky, so although it's been dry pretty much all weekend, expect a little bit of, well, a little chance of the odd shower here or there, and in these cars that will really, really even up the field. Okay, bear with me for a second as the guys get ready to go. So here we go, guys, just pulling away for the formation lap. And there's your pole sitter, Armando de Kaiser, winner of the races there in Monza. Let's go around and swarm the tyres up. Cars will go around at 130 kilometres per hour for the first 2 sectors in single file, and as they come to the final sector they'll go back into their train of 2 for a rolling start across the line, but only at 60 kilometres an hour until the green lights, and then away they go. No ghosting at this stage, so collisions can happen, or we don't want them to obviously. Drivers just need to be careful when they are warming the tyres up. They keep consistent gaps to the car in front. As heavy braking and accelerating can cause a multitude of problems. So yeah, Callum Morgan there at the back of the grid. No time in qualifying, couldn't put a clean lap in, so he'll be starting from 18th place in the grid. I was going to say there's a few drivers out of position, but actually all of these are, you know, the first 5 aside are pretty much on a pace, so no one particularly out of position as they start to line up in double file. So you can see there, De Kaiser on the right in the red car, Arella on the left in that Team 77 livery. He's got the yellow flashes on the back of his car, and you'll see Finnegan there in P6 with the pink radiator louvres. So Team 77 showing up well, as are the Paradigm Shift boys there in 3rd and 4th. Caminetto in the blue or the cyan fronted car, Radek Pavlicek in the green on the left of your screen as you look at the moment. So around they come. This is the front cam from Lucas Verkov's car. You can see front 6, Lucas starting in 7th. of the Wii Sports team. So missed round 2, but good performances in round 1 until a horrible accident at the start. On the start, finish straight, took Luca out, unfortunately. So he's back for round 3, which is good to see. Here we go. Lights are green, away they go. You can see a cracking start there from Pavlicek. Camaletto slow off the line. Arella's going to look around the outside of here with De Kaiser, and he might get, just in the background there, you saw Sverkov just getting it a little bit wrong, but has Arella got it done? Side by side. Arella and De Kaiser. Arella's going to have the inside for the tight left-hander. De Kaiser can keep it there, but it'll be on the dirty stuff, and that's Arella. Great start. Ralph Arella takes the lead from De Kaiser. Pavlicek, Camaletto, Door. As the timing screen sorts itself out. I promise you, Camaletto's in it. There we go. Arella, De Kaiser, Pavlicek, Finnegan, Binnersley. Great stuff from Rick there. Luca up to 6th, Ryan Leach 7th, Cive 8th, Deliver 9th, Cleaver 10th. And Jack Camaletto all the way back there in 18th after a start that's got him hooked up in the midfield, and then he's just gone backwards from there. See if we can have a look at the start. Is he going to give it to us? Oh yeah, you can see in the background now, unfortunately. Looked like it was Camaletto got collected. Yeah, you can see in there at the back, Camaletto just goes Jody Barraclough, 17th. Jack Camaletto looked like he got caught up there with, presumably, is it David Dorr? I think it might have been David Dorr at the back there. He's down there in 14th at the moment. So that'll be why. Camaletto's at the back. Apologies as the replay just runs out. This is a replay. We'll soon be back with the action. We'll just go and see how far back we can get with the start. But that'll answer the question why Camaletto is right there at the back of the field. So we're back live. Here we go. Arella leads De Kaiser from Pavlicek. Finnegan up to 4th, Binnersley 5th, Lucas Sverkov in 6th, Leach 7th, Civet up to 8th with Deliver 9th, Pelicano 10th, Night Star from those two, Moles up to 12th, David Dorr recovering to 13th, Mark Oliveira, Callum Morgan, Tutusor, Jody Barraclough and Jack Camaletto will be livid in that cockpit, I think is a great word for the Scot. But he'll be trying to get back. Plenty of time. 3 minutes in, 27 to go. Plenty of pace in that car to drag him back up the field. We saw him do it at the last race. Let's see if he can do it again. But Arella leads by a second or so now over to Kaiser from Pavlicek. Finnegan right behind Pavlicek. Only half a second separating those two, with Binnersley also in close attendance. Then a bit of a gap then back to Sverkov, Leach, Civet, Deliver and Pelicano. So I have to say, Ralph Arella really took the ball by the horns at the start there. De Kaiser literally ran him side by side through 1, 2, 3 and turn 4. And it was only when they got to this part of the track, Arella just made that inside line pay. Pushed De Kaiser out onto the dirty stuff over there. He lost grip and allowed Arella to take the lead and shoot away. Although De Kaiser is keeping him as honest as he can. On board here with Armando De Kaiser, you can see in his mirror nothing really close. Pavlicek already a second and a half behind. Remember, Arella, De Kaiser, Pavlicek all within a tenth of each other during practice, so Arella and De Kaiser really using that pace to their advantage. Radek just obviously trying to bring his tyres in, get them up to a temperature, not burn them out in the first couple of laps. Remember, only a half-hour race, so tyre wear not an issue, but how you get the maximum amount of grip out of those tyres absolutely is. So you can see the cars now right on Ralph Varela's tail. Sun just starting to set now. You wouldn't see it. There's plenty of clouds up there in the sky, as I say. Slight chance of rain tonight, but light just starting to go. Headlights on for the guys as dusk comes in. But nice driving from Varela there. Managing to keep first position from a twitchy De Kaiser. Camiletto already up to 16th, past Barraclough and Tutusaw. Next on the radar there is that famous rivalry between Camiletto. Let's see if we can go to that one, Callum Morgan. So Morgan's back to 18th, so something's happened there. He's dropped back down the field. Barraclough just to head through, as is Tutusaw. Camiletto free. Camiletto following Sverkov. Do you know what? I think it might have been Sverkov in turn 1 that got it a little bit wrong. It was certainly that colour car. Just got sideways, and that meant Jack got sideways, but unfortunately collected a number of other cars as he did that. That pushed him right to the back. Oh, Jack getting it all wrong at the chicane there. Stuck in the sand, and he's going to slip again to the back of the field. I'm pretty sure that is down simply to frustration, nothing more, nothing less. So here's Binnersley following Finnegan and Pavlicek. He's pulled out a 4-second gap now on Ryan Leach there in Pit Stop UK team, pink BWT car. Rick been performing really well in the series over at RWB. Him and Jack Camiletto, teammates over there, have been putting in some great performances in the Bentley in the GT3 class. The two of them tag teaming drivers. So Rick in really, really good form at the moment in ACC, and that's why he's up there in 5th. I'm personally haven't really spoken about much is Simon Finnegan. Side does tend to blow hot and cold, but he's obviously on a scorcher tonight, a scorchio. Really keeping up with Pavlicek. And just 2.5 seconds or so off the lead, so fair play to these guys. Up front though, Varela still leads. To come through after 4 laps. Into lap 5. Leads from De Kaiser. In fact, it's after 5 laps, this is lap 6. Really not put a foot wrong yet, Varela, by the looks of it. Because if he had done, De Kaiser's quick enough to be able to sneak there and steal the lead. But of all the drivers in practice, I said they were pushing the limits to find the edges. Ralph, as always, doesn't seem to find as many edges as everybody else. Very, very tidy, consistent driver. And he's one of the kind of guys that you really don't want to see out in front. Because if you're waiting for a mistake, you could be waiting a very long time. Let's just go back and look at the Binnersley, Finnegan and Pavlicek battle. Binnersley's just dropped off the back of Finnegan here. Not by much, but about a second or so. Finnegan right up close to comes through the second part of the chicane. There is Finnegan. Just keeping that gap a consistent half a second or so. Sorry, Finnegan, another one of those consistent drivers, very similar to a... I said consistent in the way he drives. But I don't think Si would have an issue with me saying that Arella is the... Come on. There we go. That Ralph is the possibly more consistent of the two of them in Team 77. Dirt kicked up there. Who is that going round the outside? I'm guessing that's... Oh, it's Callum Morgan there in front. Already being caught by the back... by the front of the field. So that's Finnegan in fourth. Ahead of him is Pavlicek in third. Oh, is that... It is, it's a Moda de Kaiser in front of him. It's not Callum Morgan, my apologies. Colours were the same, but that was where all that dust came from. The outside of that big long turn up in the hill. I'm going to call it Shrevlake. But basically up in the dunes there, that was de Kaiser going wide. And that's pulled him right back to the field now. So second, third and fourth now, in fairly close proximity. Arella, 3.5 seconds in the lead. Almeida will be... And he's gone wide there at turn one, or in deep rather at turn one. It's not so much of a problem because you can take a differing line through there and just bring it back to get a better drag towards two. But I'm sure that wasn't planned. So de Kaiser, after that mistake, back in the clutches of Pavlicek and Finnegan. Benizzi back there trying to tag on to the back of these three and keep it as a group of four. Big gap back then back to Ryan Leach, Civet, Pelicano, Cleaver, Andre Moll. Good showing from Andre to up to 10th. Unfortunately, it looks like Antonio De Leva's had a bit of an issue. He's down there in 18th now. Swap places with Callum Morgan. David Dorsch still struggling down there in 16th. No luck for David, unfortunately. Caminetto doing his usual driver of the day stint, up to 11th now. Dragging Sverkov with him. Remember, Sverkov was in 7th. Caminetto up there in... Was he second on the grid? No, third on the grid, sorry. That's right, it was Arella and de Kaiser first and second. So Caminetto making his way up through the field, although once he's past Mark Oliveira, the gaps start getting a bit bigger. 2.5 to Cleaver, 3.5 to Pelicano. But down here, you can see de Kaiser after that mistake, just starting to pull away from Pavlicek. But further up in front, Arella pulling away from de Kaiser ever so slightly. The gap's now 4 seconds. As we approach the halfway point of the race, I know it's gone like a rocket. 16 minutes to go. Benizzi really showing some pace here. It's crawled right onto the back of Finnegan now. Team 77 sitting there with a lovely haul of points if they can keep this up. First and fourth. Paradigm Shift Boys there third, and then all the way down at the 11th there for Caminetto. So Team 77 looking to take a big haul of points here, get them back to to a decent, and you can see their dust again being kicked up. De Keyser was one of the ones that when he was pushing it in practice, he was the one that was finding the edges of the track, looking for pace. So he's obviously finding the edges. You see Arella there in the distance, just breaking into turn 1 there as they cross the start-finish line. Hey Lorenzo, good to see you in chat, man. Where have you been? You already missed half the race. Good job we've got another one to come. So, again, after another bit of grass cutting, Arella finds himself around 5 seconds now ahead of De Keyser. Pavlicek, Finnegan, Binnersley, that's these three here. And a gap back to Leach, Civet, Pelicanot to 8th, Cleaver 9th, Mark Oliveira in 10th. Unfortunately, Camaletto unable to get past. We'll go and check in on those guys. And here's Camaletto. There's Oliveira in front of him. And you can see Jack there. I don't know if he might have slightly got his braking wrong there, maybe nudged the back of Oliveira. But just managed to stop going up into the dune. That's horrible up there, take you ages to get out of that. But lives to fight another day. He'll still tag on to the back of Oliveira, but with 9 seconds to Aaron Cleaver there in 9th. That first lap incident really costing Jack Camaletto a lot of points here today. Let's go back to the Binnersley, Finnegan, Radek Pavlicek battle. De Keyser again putting out another little bit of a lead over Pavlicek. Just have a look at that Camaletto incident and just see. I shouldn't do this. Oh no, this is the start. Oh, okay. Well, this will give us a better idea about what happened then. But then they come to the start. Oh. Oh, thanks ACC, you're the best. But I think it was that car of Sverkov on the inside, the yellow car, that, or the bronze car that got sideways and caught Camaletto. So still no way past Oliveira. Meanwhile, back to the Binnersley battle. Again, the line astern. Line astern, in line even. Stern and Bow, Martin. Stern and Bow, you've got this. Arella, De Keyser, 4 seconds. Then Pavlicek, Finnegan and Binnersley here, these three. You can see Leach in the background there, just crossing the start-finish line as these guys go into turn 1. That's the gap, around 8 seconds. Leach has got Civet right behind him. They've not had much TV time, have they? Let's go and have a check in with those two. Lovely livery on the Pit Stop UK boys' cars. There's Leach there in 6th. If you saw in the background, the pink car of Aaron Cleaver in 9th. So, fortunately, they managed to miss a lot of that trouble at turn 1, which is a bit of a change for them. And Ryan Leach here just making sure there's a decent distance between him and Bernard Civet. Doesn't look to be in any real danger, but by the same token, able to pull a gap. So these two behind them, Cleaver's close on Anthony Pellicano. There is the pit stop UK teammate of Ryan Leach. Pellicano in that lovely liveried, looks like a family colours. If you get to have a look at it in another part of the race, it is really quite stunning. But while that's as close as it is, this is even closer. This is Pavlicek, Finnegan and Binnersley. Really literally tie bunting between the three. But fair play to Radek. Pretty much error free. Keeping Finnegan at bay, and say Binnersley there doing a decent job just holding on to the back of Finnegan. In fact, doing more than hold on to the back of Finnegan, actually challenging now for a position, so much so. Let's go and have a look what it's like from Rick's point of view. That's a better camera view. Hey Miguel, good to see you in the chat, man. Thanks for joining the stream. While you're here, if you haven't given us a thumbs up already, it'd be nice to get a quick smash to the like button. Now there's the line at Binnersley, right on the inside curb there. Arella keeping the gap at 4 seconds. The Kaiser just nibbling at it, but with 8 minutes to go, the two of them keep a clean race. I can't see De Kaiser catching Arella at this pace. And De Kaiser's pulled out 5 seconds now on Pavlicek. That is some pace. Fastest lap so far though is Ralph Arella at 1:38.3. That's why he's 4.5 seconds out in front. Leach still got Civet in company, they're just half a second behind where we were before. Same with Pellicano and Cleaver, 8th and 9th. Camiletto's now got past Oliveira up to 10th, but you can see 10 seconds there up to Cleaver. So Jack's race is, I think, kind of run at this pace. He might have a second or so per lap, but even at that pace, he's not going to catch Aaron Cleaver. Mistakes aside, David Dorr there recovering to 12th. He'll be looking to get into the won't get into the top 10 unless it's a mistake from one of the top 10 guys, but he'll be looking to get past Oliveira. Tutuso has put in some great performances in the first few rounds. Currently sitting, Binnersley wide there. Currently sitting 6th in the championship, Tutuso. Well, that's not going to help him this time in this round because he's down there in 13th. In fact, now up to 12th as he passes Barraclough. Aaron Cleaver must have an issue there. He's fallen back down to 14th. We got that? No, we haven't, so it must have just gone off track. Morgan 15th, Deliver 16th, Sverkov having an absolute torrid time down there in 17th. As is Andre Mole. In fact, Deliver, Sverkov and Mole all pitted and presumably out of the race, retiring with 6 minutes to go. So those three will live to start another qualifying session. And as we go, these three, which is, I hate to say it, I think they might have settled for 3rd, 4th and 5th from here. It's a good position for all three of them to pick up decent points here. And they're not the sort of guys that are likely to make a lunge on the final lap either. All these three highly experienced drivers, very respectful of each other. So don't be surprised if this finishes 3, 4, 5 as it is there, as it has done literally for most of the race. Arella just extending the lead over De Kaiser to 5 seconds. Let's go and look at it. Looks like Oliveira's got David Dorr now climbing all over the back of him. The poor guy seems to have cars behind him at all points. In fact, Dorr's got past him there. Just as we went to David Dorr, he made the overtake. So Dorr through on Oliveira. So Dorr is in the top 10 after Aaron Cleaver's error. Whoa, and David gets it wrong. Oh no! So easy to put a wheel just on the curb in there, spits him out into the gravel, and that's David Dorr. Unfortunately, seeing part of the dunes he did not want to see, especially not at this point in the weekend. It just shows you how hard these cars are to control when you get slightly offline. David there back in 13th now after what was a pretty good recovery drive. As you were with Pavlicek, Finnegan and Binnersley. I thought I'd have a quick check in, but no surprise to see these three exactly where they were. Big gap back to Leach and Cive. Those two again half a second between them, as it has been literally all race. Pelicano's up to 8th, Camaletto 10 seconds behind Pelicano. Mark Oliveira there in 10th after being passed by Camaletto and David Dorr, but then Dorr making that uncharacteristic error on the penultimate corner. Jody Barraclough up to 11th after getting involved in that first lap incident as well. You can see there Finnegan still putting a good pace in. 138.8 his best lap. 139.1 last time round, so putting in some good laps here with some good pace. I would like to see what would happen if he could get past Pavlicek. Whether Radek will be able to come back at him, or whether Pavlicek is actually holding Simon Finnegan up here. And more to the point, are they holding Binnersley up? Just keeping a respectful distance off the back of these two, just in case. Not in part of somebody else's accident. Rick there intimidating Simon with his extended lights on. So I'll appreciate that in his mirror. Not flashing, they're pretty constant, so that's well within the rules. With 2 minutes to go, Arella now leads by 6.5 seconds. De Kaiser just dropping back there again. Not into the point where he's going to fall into the clutches of Pavlicek. Still a 5-second gap between De Kaiser and Pavlicek. Obviously Pavlicek, Finnegan and Binnersley are, as you see, nearly 12 seconds back to Civic, who has now actually got past Ryan Leach. That must have just happened in the last 30 seconds or so. Leach now a second and a half, so I'm guessing Ryan made a slight mistake, allowed Cive up, and that's why there's that gap between them. Pelicano there in 8th, Camaletto desperately trying to close that gap down, just 6.5 seconds now. It was 10 not that long ago, but I think he might be struggling to get that sort of time back. Fair play to Aaron Cleaver there at the back of the field after his issues. Still carrying on to score some points. Be close if we get another 2 laps here. I'm thinking we will. Just depends when Arella crosses the line. Got a feeling it'll be 2 more laps though. Let's go and find out where Ralph is. So just going down to the chicane, so it will be this and 1 more. Pretty lonely drive for Ralph, but I'm telling you, he won't mind that one little bit. Fantastic drive from Arella here. Known in the community as Stella Arella for obvious reasons.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
So I'll catch Ralph for the end of this lap and see him cross the line. But meanwhile, again, these three teetering up together again as they enter the final lap. So they wouldn't get aggressive, but they'll certainly look to exploit any mistake from any of the cars in front of them. But I think as you've been watching, they literally have not put a foot or a tyre wrong all race. They've just had excellent pace for 30 minutes. Looks like that's how it's going to end. Let's go and find Ralph. And he comes over the crest, down into the chicane. A left, a right. No, a left, a right, right, a left. I know what I mean. Then two more right-handers. This one here, penultimate corner. And then round the corner, named after Harry Lyndike, famous F1 driver. Round there he goes. Nice bank turn it is now. And Ralph Arella comes home to take his second win of the series. Fantastic performance there from Arella. De Kaiser crosses the line there for second after his 2 wins last time out. And then Pavlicek's going to come home from Finnegan and Binnersley. Literally a second covering those three. So great racing from the three of those guys. And then Civet, after pulling away from Ryan Leach, is going to come home in 6th. Decent performance there from Benny. Quick in practice, as I say. And good recovery drive to get him up to 6th after a fairly poor qualifying. Leach there, you can see in the pink car, comes home in 7th. Pelicano goes over in 8th. That's ahead of Jack Caminetta there in 9th. And rounding out your top 10 will be Mark Oliveira. And here he goes. Good performance from Mark. Xavi Pinsac not in the server tonight, unfortunately. Oliveira teammate. But good performances in the first few rounds. But not here tonight. You can see Jody Barraclough there in 11th. Tutu Saw in 12th. David Dorr, after his escapades, finishes down in 13th. From Aaron Cleaver in 14th. And Callum Morgan struggling around there in 15th and last position. Deliva, Sverkov and Mole, DNFs. There we go. So session over. Let's get me Kirsch off the screen, that's better. So, there's your final finishing. Arella, De Kaiser, Pavlicek, Finnegan, Binnersley, and you can see there Pavlicek, Finnegan and Binnersley covered by a second. Great racing from those three all race. Civet, Leach, Pelicano, Caminetto and Oliveira round out your top 10. Barraclough, Tutusaw, David Dorr, Aaron Cleaver and Callum Morgan. So, guys, have a quick session. Go and get themselves a drink of water, as I will do now as well. Leave this on until we start qualifying 2. Not going to lie, it's roasting in this commentary box tonight. I'm actually going to open the window and hopefully the screaming and shouting from the fans has stopped so I can get a bit of a... Oh, that's lovely, a bit of a breeze in. Oh. So, if you weren't here for the intro, let me just do a little bit of admin coming up shortly on RR Leagues. Where are we? Wednesday today. So Sunday we have the Kruger Chief Championship DTM 92 cars. Be with us from 8 o'clock on Sunday for that. Always a fantastic watch. An hour's race, endurance race this time, around mid-Ohio. That will be, I mean, it's a great track choice for those cars as well. So fair play to the organisers for that. And then we have a break next Wednesday, and then the following action will be on the following week on Sunday for the FRX 90 cars. Those come from the Red Bull Ring this time, so that will be fun. I'll get dizzy going around there for an hour, let me tell you. And then a fortnight time, we're back here again with the GT3s. Excuse me, that's why you don't have fizzy water when you're commentating. Yeah, back for round 4 of the Porsche Carrera Cup, and that will be from Silverstone, which I think will be a bit of a nicer track for these cars, to be honest. A bit more sweeping and flowing. The only really tight section there is the arena section at Silverstone, so might be a little bit better suited to these Porsches. Anyway, I think we're about to get involved in the qualifying. Let's see. No, we're still in the pause session. There we go. Qualifying 2 just about to start.
Green light, show them what you got.
And first out there is, that was the car of, I do know, it was Mark Oliveira, wasn't it? Cive out as well. Sverkov, I think, as well. There he goes. I think it might be Mol or Barraclough there in the Martini car. It looks like David Dorr. So all the boys out and away. So here is David. We'll try not to embarrass him tonight. Putting in some really good performances, but just a few tiny errors, and you saw that one at the penultimate corner. Just put the near side tyres there, or offside if you're not an Islander, onto the gravel on the outside of the penultimate corner. Just bit into the sand, and it spun him round before he could say Harry Lyondike. And he was up in the dunes. That's the difference between a win and last position. It can be that close. I just saw Andre Mol out and about. There he is in that gorgeous Martini coloured car. The liveries there looks fantastic. If you go on over to rrleagues.com, Jack Camaletto managed to grab an interview with the Street Motorsport guys. Camaletto talking to Andre Mol and Jody Barraclough about tonight's event, and also their livery design, which you have to say is absolutely superb. Pop on over, read the interview. If you go to rrleagues.com, click on the blog, we've got a few articles there, from race reports to, let's say, interviews with drivers. Loads of stuff to get your teeth into. Pop on over there and immerse yourself in RR Leagues folklore. Anyway, here comes Andre Mol round to start his lap. I'm sure Andre won't mind if we jump on board with him. I'm sure he wouldn't also mind me saying he's just struggling for form at the moment, Andre Mol. Very, very quick driver. Very bit like we saw with Arella. Very consistent in his performances. Doesn't saw trees down when he's driving. You'll see the steering wheel inputs here, very minimal. Picks his line, sticks with it, and just gently feeds the wheel through. Really good on tyres as well. His tyre wear rate is really minimal compared to a lot of drivers. But I'm sure he himself would agree, just struggling for that few tenths of pace at the moment. You can see just looking at this lap, you couldn't tell if it's an out lap or a quick lap because it's so smooth. I should imagine this will be a fairly decent time from Mole. Kaiser's already through 138.4. You can see Civic through. Mole's team at Barraclough there with 140 flat. Here comes Mole. What can Andre Mole put in? Yeah, 139.5. So probably Andre wouldn't mind me saying that's probably about where his pace is, about a second off to Kaiser. Cavaletto's just popped up there into third. Just going around with Jack. So the Kaiser from Benazzi to Cavaletto. Arella though yet to put a time in, as is David Dorr. I'll chat for those two, Pavlicek and Finnegan as well. Although having said that, Arella's just popped up there into fifth. Pavlicek pops him ahead of him though, they're in fourth. The two cross the line pretty much together. Finnegan down there in eighth, he'll look to improve on that. Especially after that performance in race one. So your top five. You see Siva there finally putting in the lap that we saw in practice. Third place. So he's trying to make the top five a top six here. As Cavaletto pops into four, Pavlicek 5, Arella 6th. The one person that's missing out from there is Simon Finnegan. Get into that top 7. Barraclough with a good lap there as well. Jody pops up there in 7th position. So currently, the ones we need to look out for, Finnegan and David Dorr. Cavaletto goes over the line on 38.3, takes him to the top of the timing charts ahead of the Kaiser. Nice lap from Jack there. Trying to get it right at the very front of the grid this time so he doesn't get involved in accidents. Let's hope he can get away from the grid this time as well. So Cavaletto to Kaiser, Binnersley, Civet, and Arella just pops up there in third now, and Finnegan now just takes straight over from Arella. So he said he needs to put a lap in, and there he goes. What a performance tonight from Simon Finnegan. So Cavaletto to Kaiser, Finnegan, Pavlicek, Arella, Binnersley. So back to as we were, those front six. Filling those positions again. Civet though showing a bit more pace, a bit of the pace he was showing in practice to be really close there in 7th. So decent lap from Barraclough there in 8th. He's got Oliveira behind him, teammate Andre Mole in 10th. Aaron Cleaver currently in 11th with Deliva and Pelicano behind him. Tutu saw David Dorr. Callum Morgan down in 60th. Ryan Leach yet to put a lap in, and Sverkov still in the pits. So I'm not sure if Lucas had enough. Nope, there you go, he's out of the pits. Come out to put a lap in. He's leaving it a bit tight. He'll have one flying lap. And take about 2 minutes to get round on his out lap. So he's leaving it fairly tight, but should give him plenty of time. Just needs to find a clear space. But look at that pair Tutu saw. A cracking lap there. 138.3. So I was looking at other things and just looked up and saw that. Wow. It said 6th in the championship before tonight started. And a disappointing race one, but wow, that's really going to help Pair 2-2 saw a 138.3 with Camaletto right behind, and there goes Arella. A 138.1 now. As much as I'm trying to find the camera, everyone's swapping places. There is Ralph. 138.124 last lap around. Ahead of 2-2 saw and Camaletto. 2-2 saw's parked it up, so no more improvement from him. I think he knew he'd done a lap of his life there. He's parked it up. Camaletto still circulating in third, as is the Kaiser and Finnegan. Pavlicek in sixth. Benazzi's parked it in seventh. Cive still rotating in 8th. Oliveira's parked up in 9th. Leach, Barraclough, Cleaver, Mould, Deliver, Pelicano, Dorr, Morgan and Sverkov all still going. So a lot could change here. Arella will be first to cross the line. Let's just have a look where he is on track. He is. So Arella's going to be first to cross the line, 77. Finnegan just behind him there in the 76 car. So keep an eye out for his time. So Arella comes through. Any improvement for Ralph? 37.9. Wow. Have that. Finnegan. What's Simon got? No, 39.7. So no improvement for Finnegan. He'll start at least 5th. Or at the most 5th. De Kaiser's parked up. Where's Camaletto? Just coming round the back part of the track. Yellow flag there. Car number 67, Andre Molt. Skates back to the pits. Car 68 going through Barraclough. Let's see if he improves. He does, but keeps him in 11th. Pavlicek can't improve either. He stays 6th. Pelicano. Again, no improvement from Anthony Pelicano. He'll start 13th. Car 777. That's Lucas Sverkov on that last gasp lap. And I think he's pulled into the pits. He has. So Sverkov will start from the back of the grid. Leach gets it up to 7th. Nice lap from Ryan Leach there. Dorr gets up to 5th. Where's Camaletto going to go? 2nd. Wow. So I said everything could happen, and it did. Let's give you a rundown of the last 5 minutes there, or last 5 seconds really. Arella gets pole from Camaletto with that last minute dash onto the front row. Tutu saw 3rd there after his extraordinary pole, an original pole sitting lap when he did it. De Kaiser finds himself back now in 4th. Great lap from Dorr there puts him into 5th with Finningham in 6th. Pavlicek and Leach back there on row 4. Binnesley finds himself on row 5 after that race, and Cive as well after he put in that decent lap at the beginning. Oliveira and Barraclough down there on row 6. Cleaver, Pelicano row 7. Mould Deliver on 8, and Callum Morgan and Sverkov this time not setting a time in qualifying, so Lucas Sverkov will start from the back of the grid there in 18th position. So we've just got a 2-minute gap now until the race begins, just to get the car sorted out. In fact, while we're doing that, I'm just going to take a swig of water, but before I do, let's go to why isn't it coming up? Oh, I know why, because I haven't escaped that. Oh, there we go, that's why. I think we would have lost our timetable now if I pop back on it. We have, yeah, unfortunately. That's the next part of the session started, so never mind. Yep, time for me to get a swig of water. Just 1 second, guys. It's better. Still baking hot, but no breeze coming through, unfortunately. Always the way. So you can see, fortunately, the rain has stayed away for race 2. In fact, the sun's out as it just starts to set as we come into the early evening. Well, early evening, late evening, 9 PM there in Zandvoort. You can see at the top of the screen there. That's your in-game time. So the track starting to cool down. Have we got a track temp on there? No, I don't think we have we, unfortunately? I thought we might have. Oh, there we go. 14 degrees to track temp. No wind in the air. Nice and quiet and peaceful. And weather for the next 30 minutes looks nice and bright. So, no worry of any showers, which I'm sure will be a boon to the drivers and their insurance companies. They just start the tick down now to race start. If you just joined us, this is race 2 of our Porsche Cup presentation here from Zandvoort. Race 1 pretty much dominated by Ralph Varela. If you didn't see it, you can always watch it back, the recording later on from the stream, but this is race 2. And joining us in a fortnight's time for round 4 of this championship from Silverstone. Another 2 races, same qualifying format, 10 minutes and a 30-minute race, 2 races. So join us at 8 o'clock next Wednesday. And if you can't remember that, set a notification and subscribe, and you'll get the bell when we go live in a fortnight's time. So here we go, down to 10 seconds. Race, or the qualifying, the formation lap about to begin. Varela again will lead them around. I'll say again, De Kaiser led them around last time, of course. Varela in second, and Ralph grabbing the lead as they went through turn 4. Let's go and have a look at Rick Binnersley as he poodles round on this formation lap. I say single file. Oh, who's that in front of him? Ryan Leach getting a bit leery going through there. Giving it a bit of gas to warm his tyres up, and back saying, "Not yet, sir. Maybe in 5 minutes' time when my tyres are a bit warmer, but certainly not just yet." And in front, there's an accident there, and it looks like that's Cy Finnegan. We saw Ryan Leach trying to warm his tyres up and struggling, and it looks like Cy Finnegan did exactly the same thing and wasn't quite as lucky as Ryan Leach. So Finnegan will desperately try and get back onto the back of this pack. All the cars overtook, so I think protocol is he joins the back of the field. And he'll be kicking himself. He really will. So Finnegan jumps through the field. I'm not quite sure if that's protocol. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that when they come to sort out the race. Drivers are already starting to form up now, so Finnegan a bit of a loss now as to where he needs to start. In fact, he is doing the right thing and letting... There you go. That shows you how clever and alert the guy is. Even after a rookie uncharacteristic error from Finnegan, realises he needs to start from the back of the grid, otherwise he'll get a penalty and it'll all be not worthwhile. So there we go. Unfortunate for sight, but even the best to it. Remember Jensen Button doing it at was it a Monza, I think, down the back straight towards Parabolica. Stuck it into the barriers when he was a wee nipper racing with Schumacher. I remember Schumacher being asked about Button and Schumacher saying, who? Very funny. Anyway, here we go. Arella leads Camaletto as they come to the line. You'll see there's a gap. Ryan Leach realising that Camaletto is missing. That's why that gap's there. So David Dorr's got no one to his left. He's got plenty of room to play. Lights go green. This time Arella gets a poor start. Camaletto gets a fantastic one. Not being caught out like he did in race 1. Camaletto leads into turn 1, being followed around by that's De Keyser there and Arella again going side by side through 1, 2 and 3. Tutusor just behind, followed by David Dorr. It looks all clean behind. In fact, let's go and have a look at Finnegan and just check out the last 30 seconds and see if it gives a start. You see Barraclough there in, just as we pulled away. You see Barraclough in the barrier there. So here's the start from Cy Finnegan's point of view. See if there's any action at the back of the field. It looks nice and clean through turn 1. No incidents there to really speak of. You see Pavlicek right at the back there as well. Poor start from him. Oh, just gets a bit leery there through there. Oh, and is that Moll or Barraclough gets sideswiped there into the wall. And that's where Binnersley goes off as well. So, a bit untidy there from the first 4 or 5 corners from the guys in the mid-pack. However, before it scrolls, out in front, Jack Camaletto now leads from Arella, De Keyser and Tutusor. Tutusor's got David Dorr right behind him and Ryan Leach. Already a 2-second gap back to Cive. Oliveira, Cleaver, Pelicano, Deliva, Sverkov, Finnegan, Morgan, Pavlicek, Binnersley. It's Jody Barraclough that went wide in the run up to turn 4 there and into the wall. I didn't see if he got collected or not, but certainly took a big swipe into the wall. But anyway, out in front, following the disaster of race 1, Jack Camaletto hoping that this can be a reprieve in a championship fight as he looks to rack up a few more points. But look who's right behind him, Ralph Arella and Amado De Keyser, 2 championship rivals, scored very well obviously in race 1 with the win and 2nd place. So Camaletto's really going to need to have his wits about him to keep these 2 behind and at least try and pull a few points back. Oh, greedy there from Camaletto as they go through the little kink there around this difficult right hander. Slow. These 3 away from Dorr, Tutu. In fact, Dorr's got ahead of Tutusor there, so these 3 away from Dorr, Tutusor and Leach. Cive trying to hang on to the back of them, and it kind of is like Oliveira and Cleaver, both a 2nd gap between those guys, and it's a bit close there between Pelicano, Deliva, Finnegan trying to recover after a disaster on the formation lap. Lost it as he went up the hill here. No, not up the hill there, sorry, a different part of the lap. I wonder why it didn't look like it did. It went up the hill on the first and sector 1. Just got it sideways, trying to warm his tyres up, and fell right to the very back of the field after his fantastic performance in race 1. So just when you think things can't get any weirder, they do. Camaletto, Arella, De Keyser, Dorr. As you saw in race 1, really not many passing places at Zandvoort for these cars. You really are looking for the driver in front to make an error. But Jack will hope that all his errors went away in race 1. A very untidy race for him by his standards. But he'll hope that's all been dismissed and he can carry this all the way to the flag. Ahead. Oh, and there you go, De Keyser again. Really trying to push the edges of the track and just losing it there. That's going to give him a run down towards the chicane with Dorr. Keeps it though ahead of Door. But yeah, if there's one of the top guys you want to be following who might make a mistake, unfortunately it looks like tonight it might be Almeida de Kaiser, although we've seen David Door went really close there, same place he lost it in race 1. So Camiletto and Arella over line 1-2 together, 3-4 de Kaiser Door. Behind them, Tutu Saw's got Leach now closed in on him. Bernard Civet dead in 7th, Oliveira 8th, Cleaver 9th, Antonio D'Oliva to 10th, Finnegan recovering to 11th, Morgan Pavlicek down there in 13th. He won't like that, as will not Binnersley down there in 15th. Baraklov and Surkov struggling there out the back. In fact, Surkov comes into the pits, and I'm wondering if that's going to be his race done. No fun driving these if you're imitating a camel breakdancing. Up front though, Camiletto Arella just pushing Jack just to let him know you cannot make a single mistake here or I will be through. But Jack being in this situation hundreds of times before, knows the drill. Knows Ralph very well. Slow through there from Camiletto. They're just at the Door back up slightly, and that's now allowed de Kaiser and Door just to close the gap in on them there. So as he come out to complete lap 4, Camiletto, Arella, de Kaiser, Door. I think it's Door this time kicking a bit of dirt. And in the background you can see Tutu Sort, Leach and Civet. Oliveira, Cleaver and D'Oliva. In fact, D'Oliva's just had an incident by the looks of it. He's dropping down the field. That's allowed Finnegan now up to 10th. I was just about to say come on Antonio, but the commentator's curse even works in ESP now, unfortunately. Camiletto. What if we did during the break between race 1 and race 2 obviously worked. If he had a quick word with himself, told him to calm his schnizzle. Well, he has done, and he's now leading race 2 after a fantastic qualifying, still pipped by Arella. But if that wasn't good enough, then I'll just beat you into turn 1, which is exactly what he did. Completely the opposite to race 1, where he just stalled on the line and just went backwards through the field and ended up getting caught up in the shenanigans at turn 1. That's what pushed into the back of the field. But this, and de Kaiser again, same place. Really giving David Door real hope. But every time, Door just not close enough to pick up the scraps. If you're all watching in chat, by the way, thanks very much for tuning in tonight. I hope you agree it's been a fantastic couple of races. Perhaps not the swashbuckling kind you might be used to elsewhere, but this is quality racing and quality driving. They've had 10 passes a lap here. As Camiletto just puts a tyre there on the grass on the exit of 5. That's just allowed Arella a little bit of a sniff. Jack taking a tight line through there. Likes to be greedy with that curb, you can see. Takes a lot more of it than Arella does. Of course, you are risking a puncture in these cars if you take too much curb, but Jack looks like he knows that line off by heart, knows it won't give him any sort of trouble because he seems to always put the car there, so that's his preferred line. Arella prefers to keep it away from that curb. Finnegan just half a second behind Cleaver now as he recovers from that incident. So he'll be looking to take 8th position shortly if possible. And this time they all take a bite of the dirt. The only one that didn't really was Camaletto. Herrera and De Kaiser both kicking up the dust there. Dorr probably having learnt his lesson, staying away from it. But after 6 laps, Camaletto leads Herrera. That's this battle you're watching here. De Kaiser from Dorr, that's the 2 cars behind. Then you've got Tutusor, Leach, Civet and Finnegan now up to 8th. He's got past Cleaver there. So Finnegan up to 8th, Cleaver 9th, Callum Morgan 10th. Deliver up to 11th now after that earlier error. Oliveira there in 12th, Barraclough 13th, Anti Pelicano 14th. And look at the back there. The guys that were fighting out 3rd, 4th and 5th in race 1, 15th and 16th now. Rick Binnersley and Radek Pavlicek really struggling in this second race. In fact, Pavlicek is in the pits. Nikas Furkov already left the circuit. He's in a helicopter and gone. Pavlicek pits, so presumably for damage. Damage repairs, rather. Just with a little mistake there, that's allowed De Kaiser to have a little nibble and a little sniff. Let's go and have a look on board with David Dorr. He's got both of them in front of him. Let's just see how much of a heart rate increase he's going to get when De Kaiser keeps putting it on the grass. And having said that, look at that, that's almost perfect for Marmelo De Kaiser there around the last turn. Into turn 1. Pick your braking point. Nice from all 4. Herrera though, just trying to get back onto Taylor Camaletto after his little error. See Dorr really getting an armful there as he goes round. Not scared to give the full turn of the wheel and let those front tyres bite into the tarmac. You can see there, just drifts wide. Loads and loads of understeer there. Oh, armfuls again. David Dorr, your old man's kind of racer. Really likes to push his cars. And there you go, you can see as he got on the gas there a bit early, back end swapped ends almost, caught it though with a quick wrench of the steering wheel, and they continue on their way. Camaletto, Herrera, De Kaiser and then David Dorr that you're looking at there. Ryan Leach up to 5th, Civet 6th, Tutu Source 7th. He's dropped back a couple of spaces there. Finnegan up to 8th, Cleaver 9th. Callum Morgan up to 10th, Deliver 11th, Oliveira 12th. Barraclough, Pelicano and still Binnersley and Pavlicek run round at the back. So we've got 7 of you in, no, sorry, my bad, 9 of you watching in stream. Thanks for being along with us. It's much appreciated. I know you've got different things you can do with your evening. It's probably North Macedonia playing tonight, so this is the place to be. That dipping sun really going to make it hard for the drivers. Didn't have this in race 1. Cloudy afternoon on the Saturday, and didn't have that issue. Finishing the weekend on the Sunday, nice clear skies, and that sun is going to be a real issue for them as they come down the start finish straight. I think it'll be off to one side. Where is it getting their face? Where's the shadow? about there. They come around the final corner. And the dunes giving plenty of shade as they come onto the start-finish straight. Camaletto, Arella, De Kaiser, Dorr. They're the four in picture. Big gap back then to Ryan Leach and Bernard Sivo there in 5th and 6th. Those two fighting it out again, as they did in race 1. Tutusaw and Finnegan 7th and 8th. Cleaver 9th and Morgan 10th. I have to say, this is really impressive from Camaletto considering the frustrations of race 1. Arella walked away untouchable in race 1, but Camaletto really keeping him at pace here. Now, as we said, there's not much room for decent overtakes at Zandvoort. And Camaletto just making sure that he doesn't make that mistake that Arella's waiting for. Past the halfway mark we go. I'll take another sip of water. I'll just let you enjoy the engine notes from these gorgeous 911 GT3 Cup cars. Tell you what, whoever's seated in that corner on Monday has got a great contract. I just feel David Dorr is desperately trying to hang on to the back of these three now. Just check the timing and see where these guys are putting their laps in. Yeah, I thought I'd give him the fastest lap, unfortunately not. .138.8 from Camaletto last time round, so fair play. Nice going from Jack. There we go, 138.3, his best lap. Quickest lap of the race so far though, Almeida De Kaiser at 137.8. But you can see again, just dropped off the back of Arella. That tad of inconsistency just coming into Almeida's driving as David Dorr again runs the gauntlet on that penultimate corner like he did in the first race. Didn't faze him though, obviously, because he's still pushing it out there. But still, Camaletto out in front, ahead of Ralph Arella. There's nothing more that Ralph can really do here than just sit on the rear wing of Camaletto and just try and pressure him into some kind of mistake, but 20 minutes in, it doesn't look like Jack is on that. I was going to say on that plane tonight, but he was on that plane in race 1 certainly, but the difference between him in that race and him in this race is night and day, really is. You can see there Ralph got really close, but again, just couldn't make the move on Jack. We try up the inside here. He will. I don't know if he'll have the... Oh, here we go. Side by side, down towards the chicane. Camaletto, though, will have the inside line. Will he just push Ralph wide onto the curb? Very gentlemanly driving from Camaletto there. Could have really made Ralph go over those curbs on the inside, but didn't. And lost drive, it looks like, as he came out of the chicane and gets swallowed up there by Dorr and De Kaiser. Wow, De Kaiser on the inside of that last turn, just taking too much curb. And look at David Dorr finds himself in second after I just said not so long ago. It looks like he was struggling to keep hold of him. Camiletto getting it sideways through one, still side by side with De Kaiser though. This is where we saw him with Arella. And Camiletto this time gets it done before turn 5. And manages to keep third. So not the greatest time in the world there from Jack Camiletto. I don't really think that was a commentator's curse. That was just a great bit of driving from Arella. Set him up lovely coming up the hill towards the chicane. Camiletto being very, very gentlemanly and sportsmanlike through the chicane. But unfortunately, that put him in a position where he had no drive coming out the chicane. And both Dorr and De Kaiser, who were already side by side, suddenly had that paradigm shift 911 car in front and had nowhere to go. I wonder if Jack's tyres are just starting to feel a bit of wear here, or indeed if the pressures are quite right, because it just looks like in the last 2 or 3 minutes that car has become an absolute handful. After an opening 20 minutes where he literally did not put a foot wrong. But guess what? Out in front, once again, Ralph Arella already putting that gap on David Dorr. You saw how quick he was in race 1, Arella. Dorr never really been on Arella's pace today. We'll be looking, I think, just to put out a gap on Camiletto and De Kaiser and not try and chase Ralph down. He pushed that too much. He's in danger of just going that inch wide that he doesn't need to, and finding himself racing with Cy Finnegan there, who's managed to make his way up now to 8th position. His teammate in Team 77. Sorry, that's Arella's teammate. God, that was going so well until I said that. Anyway, let's give you a rundown. Arella and Dorr now first and second. Camiletto third. De Kaiser fourth. Leach just managed to pull a bit of a gap this time on Civet. He's second and a half up in 5th. Civet 6th. Tutu Saw there in 7th. Finnegan up to 8th. Callum Morgan up to 9th. Aaron Cleaver 10th. Oliveira 11th. Pelicano 12th. Deliver 13th. Binnersley, Baraclough and Pavlicek still struggling down there at the back. We've had Pavlicek 2 laps down there at the back. Presumably a big stop for damage, which is why that gap is so big. So I think Arella will keep his pace. In fact, David Dorr, just keep him with him. These two big friends have been in RR leagues for longer than I care to remember. Dorr and Arella. Let's go and have a look at De Kaiser though. Interesting drive from Armado today, finding all the dusty parts of the. There you go again. He's just managed to get away with it every time. They saw David Dorr put one wheel wrong and end up pointing the wrong way in the dunes. It's fair to say Armado's done that more than once tonight. Whether it's luck or car control, he's managed to keep it pointing in the same direction. Give himself some really decent points here. I think he'll lose the championship lead to Arella after this, but certainly in contention as they go to Silverstone in a fortnight's time, that's for sure. Oh, Camiletto taking a lot of curb there. That's going to give De Kaiser a chance to get up the inside, just like Arella did. Camiletto wise to that move after having it pulled on him once. You see what I mean there? Wide again, still keeps going in a straight line though, despite one rear wheel having traction and one not. So I'm going to come around to complete 15 laps here. 5 minutes of the race to go. Arella still second ahead or so of Door. Door keeping very, very honest. 3 seconds back to Camaletto. Kaiser here in 4th. It's got very close up front. It might have been very disrespectful for David Door here. Just get the times. So last time round, Door was on a 138.6. 138.2 is his best. Same with Herrera, look, a 138.2 is his best. 138.9 last time round. So Herrera back in that pace that he had in race 1. Door finding pace that he didn't have in race 1. So it's just 4 minutes to go. Can Door put pressure on Herrera? Same with De Kaiser and Camaletto. And again, De Kaiser on the grass. Better that time. So 3 more laps to go. Oh, Jack getting it wide through one, as does De Kaiser as well. Both of them losing grip there, those rear tyres. Really screaming enough. Just 25 minutes into the race. But both of them having a real handful of that car as they went on the exit of turn 1. And Jack really, while he was negotiating turn 1. I just wonder if De Kaiser saw the opportunity, floored that throttle before the car was straight, and that ended up with him fishtailing. When really he could have sneaked through there on Camaletto. This is enthralling to watch, I have to say. Kaiser looking for that line to cut back on Camaletto, but again, Jack wise to that. Getting enough drivers to go towards the chicane. This time, De Kaiser not doing what Arella did and shoving it there, making sure Jack knew he was there. De Kaiser being a little bit more respectful, and that just allowed Camaletto to close the door on him and get the line through the corner and out again to allow him to lead as he goes on to lap 18. You can see Arella ahead, now pulled 2 seconds on David Door. David had his moment of catching Ralph, but Ralph's found that pace again now, found his groove. And he's pulled out, say, 2 seconds on Door. And we've got 5 seconds on this battle between Camaletto and De Kaiser there, so I wonder if De Kaiser would be kicking himself that he didn't get past Jack when he had the chance, and David Door managed it. Behind them, Civic's got past Leach to 5th, so great driving from Bernat Civet there and Ryan Leach. Forgive me for not jumping back to that, but I've just got a feeling something's going to happen between these two at some point. Finnegan now up to 7th after his disaster on the formation. That's a fantastic recovery drive from Cy Finnegan. And that's not over there. He's only a second behind Civet, who's now lost that place to Leach again. Maybe we should give those two guys a little bit of time. I'm keeping an eye on the Camaletto De Kaiser. But you can see there Ryan Leach, Bernat Civet, and there's Simon Finnegan in the background trying to make the best of a bad day. I'm not sure he would have taken 7th if he'd have offered him to him at the start of the day, but I'll tell you what, he'd have taken
The
5th.
leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
So Arella, Door, Camaletto to Kaiser just 2 tenths behind him now as they go into turn 1. Let's see if they have the same level of control, and that's more like it, guys. Well done, that's better. Nice driving from both of them through 1. And up the hill they go. Oh! And still De Kaiser managed to keep it pointing in the same direction. He was 90 degrees off track then. He's still managed to snap it back. Wow, that's some coding you've got there, Amado. Wow. How that car has kept pointing in the same direction tonight, I do not know. But it has. Still finds himself back there in 4th though. This Jack just broken him now. I think he may have done. Up front though. Arella comes over the crest down towards the chicane. Door managing to pull us back to a 2nd as Ralph just eases off on the final lap. Down towards this penultimate turn and then around Ari Lyondike, bocked. And that's going to be 2 out of 2 for Ralph Arella. That'll take him to the top of the championship as we come halfway through the season. Ralph Arella, fantastic drive from him today from Zandvoort. Absolutely brilliant. David Dorr with a really, really good performance there in 2nd. Camaletto manages to hold off De Kaiser for 3rd and 4th. And let's watch the Leach, Cive and Finnegan battle 5th, 6th and 7th. But as we do that and pay tribute to Ralph Arella's performance today, absolutely breathtaking. Sat behind Camaletto in race 2, and when the opportunity was presented to him, grabbed it with both hands and took that win to make it 2 out of 2 for the weekend. Leach comes home there in 5th then, Cive 6th, Finnegan 7th. Behind those, Tutu Saw comes home in 8th, Callum Morgan 9th, Cleaver 10th, Oliveira finishes there in 11th. Behind him, Pelicano, Barraclough, Binnesley, and the rather unfortunate Deliva and Pavlicek. Still struggling around at the back of the field after that. What must have been a big crash for him to come into the pits. Take 2 minutes worth of damage repairs, but fair play. Radek comes home to finish what has been a fantastic watch of a weekend of racing here at Zandvoort. But no doubt the star of the show, Ralph Arella, absolutely superb from him. David Dorr 2nd, Jack Camaletto 3rd, Milo De Kaiser 4th. Let's just get your timetable up if it'll pull up. No, it won't. Come on guys, you can do it. If I press escape and drive here, it's not going to do it, is it? Or will it? No, won't give me the timetable. Anyway, there we go. Arella, Dorr, Camaletto, De Kaiser, Leach, Cive. In fact, if we do timetables there. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Who's that?
This is Jack Camaletto speaking.
Mr. Camaletto, how are you?
I'm well. I'm very, very warm.
What happened in race 1, man?
Well, you probably have a better idea than I do, actually.
Well, I saw you got a bad start off the line. You got swallowed up. That put you in the mid-pack. Then I think it was Sverkov in the yellowy brown colour car on the inside got sideways. And then from what I saw, you just got collected up in that and then ended up running at the back of the field after lap 1.
Yes, that you summed it up perfectly. What happened? Yes, that's pretty much the gist of it. I got a terrible launch off the line. I thought I was being super clever, staying on the bumper of I believe it was Ralph in front of me. But then I couldn't see the lights. Could not see red to green, and that's why I don't usually do that. But then I remembered Simon Fillingham's amazing starts from the last round 2 weeks ago around Barcelona. He was right on the bumper of the people he was following in the formation lap. So I thought, I'm going to give that a try. never ever going to give that a try again. It was terrible. It doesn't work for me. Second qualifying, a lot better for me, and the race was very, very nice also. Racing with Ralph Varela, always a pleasure. Thank you very much, Ralph.
Yeah, I did have my hands full at the break there, but I was, as we watched race 2, I was quite interested if you had a little word of yourself during the break.
No, you know what? It was just the first race was just. I think it was just very unfortunate to get collected, and I actually made a very big mistake as well after sort of trying to recuperate. And
Is that you went straight through the chicane?
oh yes.
Yeah.
Treading needle. And that was a proper heart and mouth moment. And yeah, I'm just so happy that I didn't actually collide with anyone. So sorry for any of those guys who I just seemed to go straight past. Probably give you a heart attack. Apologies.
No, it must have been, we just caught that on stream as you went straight across the chicane there, and it was like a, whoa, how late is that?
Oh my. But you know what it is? It's because the braking, my braking marker going into that corner, there are 2 lines painted across the track.
Yeah.
And I was painting. That was the problem, you see. I got my sketchbook out, my paintbrushes, and I just started painting, and then I just missed my braking marker. No, the second painted line on the ground is my braking point, and I just neglected to see the first one. So when I saw the second one, I thought that was the first one. And thought, hang on a minute. The second line hasn't come up yet, and I haven't started braking. But all of a sudden, the cars in front of me, they're getting much, much closer. So that was that.
And then race 2, obviously you had that battle with Ralph. I think Ralph set you up perfectly for that overtake through the chicane. But I have to say, you were very gentlemanly through there, and that seemed to mess up your exit as you came out the chicane. And then you had the 2 guys behind you, literally it was a bit of a Hackett and Schumacher incident for a minute there.
It was, and I'll tell you the reason behind it. It's because a little bit more to it actually than that. So, yeah, I mean, all credit where credit's due to Ralph. I mean, he was constantly putting me under pressure, forcing the error by me, and that move was on 100% from Ralph. But what caused me to get swallowed up from David and co behind was my button plate, my wheel with my shifters, disconnected from.
Oh, not
cable.
Again.
And yeah, and I couldn't shift up. I couldn't upshift.
Oh.
So I scrambled and managed to get it in, but by that point it was like David was managing to get past. I think I managed to block the geezer behind me.
Are you still on that curly cable? Have we not had that discussion before?
We've had this discussion. I've had it replaced.
Oh wow, okay.
I usually use my another steering wheel, but for this one, for the Porsche Cup, it's full round steering wheel. Try and go
okay.
close to life as possible. So it's got this button plate on. But the problem isn't the cable. The problem is the cable. It's very short. It's very, very short.
And that's just pulled it out.
And yeah, and basically when I went a little bit sideways, the wheel did its thing. I let it free spin. And that was a mistake because it ripped out the cable.
Oh no.
That's fine. Though.
So that's why you virtually came to a stop on the straight then.
Yes. After the
chicane, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, that answers that then. That's what these interviews are so good for. You get all the information afterwards when you're wondering what the hell happened there.
And how was the race for you and the viewers? Was it entertaining?
I've got to say, as Zandvoort goes, it's not the greatest track for overtaking, but I did say during the stream that if you come along to watch that sort of stuff, then you're in the wrong place. What you've come to watch tonight was about 7 or 8 drivers that were just completely on it tonight. I mean, there was guys behind. Obviously, the top 4 or 5 had some pace. But to give you an idea, like Radek was fighting in race 3 with Simon and Rick for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Rick found himself at the back of the field in race 2. Simon made a bit of an error on the formation lap. That put him at the back. And David, who had a terrible race 1, had a few mistakes, basically like you, turned it around in race 2. So, yeah, from an overtaking point of view, not the greatest watch, but as a driving spectacle, I think it was a cracking race to watch.
Excellent. That's great to hear. It was cool. Just before I jump out, it was great to see in the second qualifying that all the positions had changed. Maybe not like super drastically,
yeah,
but they were all mixed up, jumbled up. I think everybody had a different position. And yeah, there were even some names up there in the top 6 that were like outside of the top 10 qualifying in the first race. It was great.
Yeah, I
Really,
must
really
admit, qualifying for race 2 was fantastic because I think you put your best lap in at the last there, and Tutu saw put a cracking lap in with about a minute to go, and it was like a bit like a fruit machine at the top of the time in train for that last minute or so. Anyway, while we've got you, do you want to shout out for your channel and get your stream a few views if people haven't know where you are?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, my name's Jack Camiletto. How is it going? I'm streaming multiple times in the week on youtube.com/Jack Camiletto. Come and hang out. It would be lovely to have you. Thanks.
There you go. Quality streams as always. But unfortunately, he streams the same time as we broadcast, so pick your choice. Or better still, have both of them on side by side to give yourself full immersion.
That's the way to do it.
Anyway, Jack, I'll let you go and speak to your teammate and have a chat in your own Paradigm Shift Discord. Have you got a code for that, or can they find that easily?
They can find that easily if you head over to my stream. You can find it in the description just below the video.
There you go, and hop on over to Jack's Paradigm Shift and have a nice chat with the man himself. Mate, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate that. I'll let you go.
Thanks for having me, dude. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Congratulations on your 4th today.
Thanks, dude. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye. So there we go. That was Jack Camiletto. He finished 3rd, not 4th. So that was me dissing him. He didn't come back at me for him as well, bless him. So thanks for that, Jack. So yeah, cracking race. As I said, more of a race of driver skill tonight than outright overtaking. But I think it was a great watch. Thank you all in the stream for watching. If you haven't liked the video already, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that thumbs up button. And just to give you an idea, Crew Chief Championship back on Sunday. Don't forget to join us for that. Epic championship. It really is. I mean, if you haven't watched one already, please do. And then you'll understand why I keep going on about it. And then a week Sunday, FRX 90s. That's the F1 cars from 1990s around the Red Bull Ring. So join us for that. And then a fortnight, same time, next fortnight Wednesday, you'll watch another one of these races from Silverstone, Porsche Cup, same drivers, same skill, same level of ability, appreciation of fantastic driving. And congratulations tonight to one man in particular, Ralph Varela, who was literally stellar tonight. Congratulations, Ralph, and we'll see you all hopefully on Sunday for Crew Chief Championship. If you've got nothing better to do, even if you have got something better to do, that's where you need to be. Anyway, from us, RR Leagues, we'll see you. Take it easy.